Hello, everyone. My name is Chris, and welcome to another exciting edition of Comic Cave Podcast. My name is Chris, along with my hetero life mate, Mister.
Russ.
And we have a special guest for you today in the cave, coming up next on Comic Cave Podcast. Welcome back to another exciting edition. My name is Chris. Once again, my name is with my hetero life mate, Russell, and we have a special guest, sir. Please introduce yourself.
What's up, guys from Texas? This is Phil Eichinger, professional actor, writer from living in New Jersey right now.
You over there in Jersey? What part of Jersey? Because I've often wondered, I always want to go to Jersey because of I like some movies from Jersey, Newark, and all the other places and stuff. And Kevin Smith from Red Bank, So, what part of Jersey are you hailing from?
You're like right in my alley right now. Newark, I'm 11 miles from Newark. I'm in Rahway.
Have you ever heard of a movie called Wise Guys?
Yes, of course.
That's really cool.
Russell Crowe and... Right?
No, Joe Piscopo and Danny DeVito. It's an old 1980s movie.
Is it a reboot then? Did they reboot it with Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling?
Possibly. I'm not sure.
I've been rebooting a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
That actually leads me kind of into my first question, getting into everything is, so you're an actor, you were in the Gotham TV show. When did you get into acting? How did that come about?
Well, acting is like a second career for me.
Okay.
I ran actually a baseball card shop for a while, but then I also played semi-professional hockey. And so I was pursuing the hockey realm of my life. I already graduated college. I have a fine arts degree. So I was playing in this gong show hockey league out in Ohio and Michigan. Came home. The league went defunct. I was like, what the hell am I going to do in my life in a way? Took a local acting class at just a community college, Brookdale, which is near that Red Bank area that you were talking about, dude.
Awesome.
So just took a little class there at night, and it just took off from there. The professor's like, you're awesome, man. You should just go audition. And at the time, I'm like, what the heck is audition?
Right.
And anyway, so I just started going auditions to Manhattan. I was starting to book everything I was getting. Mind you, it was all, remedial stuff to get your feet wet.
Right.
But then 2006 came, and I booked my first professional job, which was a 9-month contract for like an educational theater tour.
Oh.
We went to a lot of schools, and we taught kids lessons through theater. So that was my first big job, and I was like, all right, I'm just going to pursue this, and I've been a professional since 2006 now.
Wow. I checked out your website, and your range of experience seems to be all over the place. I didn't know that the NHL was professional or semi-pro. Is that what it was?
No, I didn't make the NHL. No.
Okay.
Like minor, semi-professional. It was a 5-team league. And, some of these, like I was saying, some of these unorganized leagues are a little gong showy. And
Gotcha.
I wanted to keep going into that realm and not knowing if I was going to catch on to a team. You come home and then you go back. So I'm like, I ran this card shop. I had a degree, but I wasn't sure where I wanted to go with an educational fine arts degree. So I ran this card shop, like I was saying, and then this acting came up, and it just kind of, took off in a progressive way.
Yeah.
So I went back and saw the episode of Gotham.
Yeah.
Awesome episode. The show was a great series. I like the show a lot and the series a lot. To audition for that show, do you have like an agent that called you like, hey, or do you just go and like, how do you do these things? If someone was breaking into the acting world, how would you go about it?
Okay, it's very rare that someone will get an audition of that caliber, which is called in my realm the legit stuff, which is television, film, that we see. It's considered legit.
Okay.
So it's very, very hard for someone that does not have representation, unless it's an extreme specific skill. Like my hockey skill gets me in a lot of different unique things too. Being an actor and being a professional hockey player, it's a unique bond, a unique combo that's not really out there too much. Anyway, but so my agent, I have two agents. I have a commercial agent, and then I have a legit agent for TV and film. And so this happened to be, Culpepper was my third time auditioning for Gotham.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so it was that process. Oh, Phil, hey, we got you an audition tomorrow. You go there, whatever time my appointment was. So yeah, that process is. You're happy when you get auditions, because auditions are it's your job. It's your job to go, in a way, book the room. Don't worry about necessarily the role. Just go in. And they brought me back, so they like me. That's always a good sign, which we can talk about further in the future. When you get called for, say, oh, you're not right for this one, Phil. Oh, but this, come on in. That's what happened with Culpepper, I think, with me. I went into that room. I studied the room, because sometimes, people do that. You walk in as a few guys or whatever else is casting. And I just looked around, and no one really had the look I had at the time. I had a mustache. My hair was slicked back. I'm always like changing my appearance for just. And I felt like for a few minutes sitting there before even going in the room to read, I just I think I'm going to get this one. I just had a feeling looking at the people. And I knew nothing about the show Gotham. I just knew what it was, kind of loosely what it was about.
Was this early on in the show's making?
This is season 4, so it was at its height. Almost, I think it dropped a little bit, and then it got picked up with some new producers and new writers on board. Credits and things like that. So I went in a room. I mean, I was like, my hair was like ice. It was like so tight back, and my mustache was like, and watching Gotham now is a way I see kind of what got me at my look, because a lot of the detectives had mustaches that
right
the background, and some of the criminals were like, so I'm like, all right, it worked. And that's for me not even knowing the show.
It just kind of worked out for you. So what other roles were you up for then, or were you trying to actually initially get?
It was none of them were as meaningful as Culpepper. Culpepper, I mean, mind you, writers put in characters for reasons. So even if it's a one line or a one scene or a one episode or 2 episodes, there's all a reason for it. But to be a detective on Gotham, I appreciated more, as we can get into with some of your other questions. As being a detective in that world, you appreciated that you were on that level of Gordon and Bullock. You weren't Gordon and Bullock per se, but I was a detective, so we were kind of that same level playing field. For the other roles, I don't know. It was like a promo, which I'm glad I didn't get that. I don't know, something that would air, as a commercial. And then the other one was 2 roles. I was looking back at my stats, because I keep track of everything I've ever auditioned for, who I auditioned for and what role. And apparently I didn't write the role for this. I don't even remember the part. I think it was same season. I think it was a circus barker or something. Oh, here they come. So I think it was that. I'm not sure, but I feel like that's what it was.
Okay.
In that circusy.
Not something with as much of lines and not as prominent, but
right.
So it worked out for the best.
It did, and looking back now, it was extremely awesome to be a part of that show, and it took me this long to actually accept and appreciate it more, and kind of do the things I'm doing right now, and thanking you guys for.
Yeah, I've seen you really kind of go head first into all that. You're doing signings at comic book shops, and you're really embracing the life of it and the role.
I am, and I want to touch on something about the whole comic book thing for me. I want to quote George Costanza. As a kid, it didn't take. Remember the episode, George Costanza, the shower didn't take. Didn't take. So comics for me, as a kid, it didn't take. I tried reading a few, and I was I was more into baseball cards, hockey cards.
Yeah, right.
So that's why.
Still pop culture.
Sorry?
It's still pop culture.
Oh, yeah.
We're still,
totally.
Yeah.
Totally. But yeah, so I think the embracing of it, and it has a lot to do with a project that I'm in the works, the whole kind of going backwards but moving forward, because I think that's still something to do. I'm going backwards to something that I portrayed. I'm still working, but I'm kind of doing a little bit of everything with it right now.
Got you.
So I've often, wondered because, like I said, I love movies, and so part of me was like, hey, you know what? Maybe I should become an actor. I don't know. We're always curious. So I've often wondered, what does it feel like to walk on a set and you see Gotham City? I know you don't, you didn't grow up as a comic fan, but you still see Gotham City. It's this big thing, and like, what was it like? Just like, wow, like they really spent some money on this place.
It was cool. The set that I was on was they filmed a lot of the exterior stuff in Jamaica, Queens. They had this huge industrial lot for a lot of their exterior stuff, and the GCPD garage and some couple other things. I'm going to rewind a little. About 2 months ago, I ripped through the Gotham series because I had to see. I was doing it for research,
right?
And so I took 2 months, and I just had to watch it. And I was very intrigued with it. I was interested. It was very gory, and I didn't expect it to be so gory for like a Fox show. It was wow. So that blew me away. But to answer your question, it was the scenes were at the GCPD garage, so everything was always very dark. And now watching the show, I get it. Very muted colors. There's always a smokestack somewhere.
Right.
Always wet. I mean, that stuff adds effect to the ambiance of Gotham.
That's super cool. Then what did you do to like prepare for this role? Then like they were sent the script before time, I'm assuming, and like. How did you make yourself ready?
Yeah, so the audition, yeah, exactly. I'm not one of those people. I'm usually one of those guys that get my lines, bang it out, and people are like, oh, shit, we're done. Yeah, you got it, man. Thanks. But yeah, so the script was a tad different than the one I did for the audition. But for the audition, I don't even remember if I was completely memorized. I might have still had the script in my hand. But, when you book the job, your first thing is you go in and you do a table read with the cast that's available, like usually the day before or a few days before. So we did the full cast table read of the episode. And then the next night, I remember getting the script again, and I had another 2 added lines. I'm like, yeah, because you always want a little more. I mean, so I got a few more lines, and I was excited about that. So you prepare. If they ask you to change appearance, which obviously was not going to happen,
right.
You go in looking the same prior to hair and makeup. Just be prepared, be ready to take direction, have an open mind. Be professional. Also understand that if you're a day player or a co-star or a guest star, you're coming into a show that's been on the air for 4 years. So they're a well-oiled machine. So don't go in, cracking jokes when the time's not right. Go in, do your job, and if there's time to talk, you talk. These guys are there to work. They're there every day. Mackenzie and Donald Logue. They're there every day. But yeah, you just go, you do your job, and you hope for the best things to come out of it.
I'm sorry, that just makes me wonder, how was your experience working with them specifically?
Yeah.
You said it was a well-oiled machine. Like, how did that dialogue go? And
so it was pretty awesome because as you saw the scene, I had to get tossed into a trunk, and you see the automobiles they use in that show, very 80s Caprice,
right.
Whatever they are. So there was no padding in that trunk. So the guys are like, yeah, you guys are like, the first time for rehearsal, we had to rehearse the actions of it. And I actually got cut. I got a nice gash on my elbow during rehearsal. And Donald Logue's like, oh, shit, man. You okay? Yeah, I'm okay. I played hockey. Oh, you're good. You're good. He was like yelling to the director. No, he played hockey. He's good. But they were kind enough. The crew, they put some blankets in the trunk because I had to do it a few times, So when in between some takes, Ben was chill, kind, just professional, sat there. But Donald Logue and we had in-depth conversations about college football. During that, I was just a listener because I'm not a football dude. I'm not a real man, I guess. I don't watch football. And he's just talking about college football, and I'm just, yeah, good. It was like you see what you get what you see with him on screen. He's like
That's
that
cool.
same personality,
Wow.
very open and boisterous, and he was like that. Sure, he's some moments of being subdued, as people do, but there was a lot of conversation about college football and one of his previous shows he was on, and it was funny.
Awesome.
So I've often wondered, and once again, because I've been interested in stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming, because I've heard this, I'm assuming whenever you start acting, are you a part of the Screen Actors Guild now? Like, do you sign up for that, or because I hear once you get like a speaking role, like you're like set up and you have to like go do all these information and stuff like that, and sign up for other stuff.
There's a few ways actors are lucky enough to get into the union. One way is I think it's still the same. You do 3 SAG-AFTRA background roles. Like, you get 3 days of work as a SAG-AFTRA background, and you can get in that way. You can get in, like you said, through, if you're not in a union and you're liked so much, they're gonna pull you in and say you got to sign up for the union. And then there is the Taft-Hartley way, which I hope not a lot of actors listen to your podcast, because it slips my mind how this works.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of the same way as if you're a non-union and you're really the person for this part, they'll like slip you in with this like finagle way called the Taft-Hartley, and you have like a grace period or something. I can't wait to look up this and see how close I am to this being friggin' right. But those are the 3 you can get into the union.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. So you do a lot of other artistry and stuff as well. I saw you have like a book or something that you're writing. You mind telling us a little bit about that? Or is it the Artichoke Boy, or that's a video?
Oh, Artichoke Boy was something that just I create my own company. So when I'm not working meaning as like an actor going out, I like to create my own content. So Artichoke Boy is the third, here's that word, legitimate thing that I produced and threw into like the festivals and things like that. So every one of mine had some progress. This being my first animated short.
Okay.
So you're on about a year. We're almost about a year out. So this was actually the initial sketch I did of Artichoke Boy in June 28th of 2020. So I do a lot of like doodles with my daughter, and this we just did in her room one day. I'm like, this guy is something. As you can see, I ripped it out of the little pen, and like I put it away. I'm like, this could be something. Let it sit away for about a week, and then she ended up saying something in the kitchen, because kids speak whatever they say. She was just randomly said, I wish I was a different color. I wish I was the color of an artichoke. So right there, I'm like, I wrote that down. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have an important message here. So I ended up writing this 3-page script about this young, saddened artichoke who's struggling with color, gender, sex, and race, and it's meaningful. Like, it's current right now. Like, kids are going through this. So it was just this powerful message that that came to me. And I hired an animator, because I can only draw, paint. I have no skills of doing like animation and stuff like that. So I hired an animator. I got a lot of people who supported my previous film, Garage. They helped me fund and help produce it. So I was able to hire this awesome animator. I got a great song from Lisa Loeb and 2 other co-writers on it. So it's currently like running in and out of festivals right now.
Awesome.
It was about a 4 or 5 month process of doing it for only a 3-minute film. I'm happy with it. It tells a powerful story, and it's another challenge for me. I like challenging myself in the arts and having the balls to like do an animated film.
Right.
All I had to do with it was create the character. I wasn't the voice of anything. I wrote it, created, directed it. I wanted to kind of be on the artistic side of this one. For the 2 previous ones, I wrote and starred in them.
Right. So you get inspiration from just daily life and how to go with your artistry?
Oh gosh, yeah. Everything. I mean, my writing, just yeah. I never have. It's a great thing to say that I never have a cold spell in the art world. I mean, sure, that was 2020, where I was still auditioning here and there during everything that was going on. So I wasn't struggling to be creative. So this kind of came to me, and it gave me something to do from that June to whenever we quote unquote wrap, which I think was like early October.
Mm-hmm.
That was just through emails, phone calls with this guy. So yeah, it was just a different approach to be creative. Like you asked me about like art. I was really focused on that. I was focused on, doing some remodeling in my home too. Cause my father and we've done pretty much everything in my house together, which is pretty awesome.
See that art behind you? You do that as well on the wall?
Yeah,
there?
Painting I did in 2001. It's a lot. I mean, you could probably gauge the girth of it, but it's the size of a ceiling. So it's about 8 by 4.
Wow.
Yeah. This was during my, I had a bit of a Jackson Pollock inspiration era. And this is one that's called the pen is Gotti. Yeah, it's an interesting, yeah, man.
So all these, you have so many different artistic influences. I'm sorry, words are escaping me right now. Endeavors, different artistic endeavors and stuff. That helps your creative juices flow for everything, I imagine. So like you're saying, there's never a dull moment. So it's just like you're working on one thing, you can move to the next, and
yes,
keep going, huh?
Kind of how awesome. How I feel right now. I try to be in my own entrepreneur. Sure, I'm not making a ton of money and everything right now, but it keeps me sane. It keeps me creative. I mean, that's the beauty of all of it. Just being creative, no matter what your outcome for something is. It makes you feel good. It makes my family, friends. It gives them something to watch or look at. Sure, I want to be more successful at what I do. That's why I keep continually, creating. With the artichoke, I had the Artichoke Boy going on right now. I had the signings going on. I have, these podcasts and talking to you guys. I have, we haven't dove into it yet, but the Culpepper pilot, the TV pilot that I wrote with a partner that we're in the middle of. Yeah, there's a lot. So that's another, we can backtrack, but that's another reason why I kind of dusted off Gotham and Culpepper, is because over the past 4 months, from let me say December to about March, I wrote a Gotham spinoff based off my character.
No way. Okay, no, please go into more on that.
So, this was something, once again, a little bit of downtime. I had this idea, and my buddy of mine, who's the opposite end of me, he's very into, he's a computer programmer for a living, very into cryptocurrency. And I'm the artist, the writer, the actor, the creator. So I have the way of writing. He's got some knowledge. So we dug deep for about 4 months with an idea. And we wrote this one episode, obviously, because you only write a pilot. It's called Culpepper. It's a Gotham spinoff. So what it is, it's a very highfalutin-esque type show. So there's no blood. It's more of like a Showtimey. It's like a Billions meets Succession type of show. It's with my character of Culpepper ends up leaving the GCPD just randomly. We don't know when. We presume it's between episode 99 and 100, because after watching it, I realized 10 years had passed. So we're gonna presume that he left during that time, became this high-ranking security guard at a very prestigious bank. So he's very well put together now, and it deals with a lot of cryptocurrency and theft and so the whole thing going on. Yeah, so we wrote this 62-page pilot. I'm in the middle of pitching it to some higher people right now. We call it's in sleeper mode right now because, as an unrepresented writer, it's very hard to get in the door. I'm a represented actor, but, I write all the time, but being Yeah, just like I said, it's very hard to get in the door with that. So we're finding loopholes of people that we know through other people that are higher on the scale than I am, like some other big DC actors that I will not say right now that have been on some shows that we got it to them. So we're hoping to pitch to like HBO Max and Warner Media, because that's the only people that are going to take a DC show.
HBO Max is amazing. I really hope that pans out for you.
So we're hoping. I mean, because it'll be a lead for me as Culpepper.
Right.
I mean, come on, they can't recast because that'll be ridiculous.
But again, it's also current too with the cryptocurrency and the idea of is it like a heist type deal, but like virtual heist almost?
Yeah, and it just goes the whole. It's almost so the series follows. You guys are going to love this. The series follows the birth of Darkseid in a way. So, but it's loosely based on. There was a comic book series in the late 80s. See, I did research, guys. There's a comic book series in the late 80s, early 90s called Action Comics Weekly. And it was just a little one-page insert of like Green Lantern, Superman. So we loosely wrote this pilot based off this Superman insert because Culpepper, there was a character called Charles Culpepper in that series. Wasn't my character, but we morphed him that he ended up becoming the head of the consortium, that league that wanted to like demolish Superman. So it's a very highfalutin, sexy type show with that in mind. So like Justin Ballantine, the guy who's Libra, he'll be like an appearance in it. But the other beauty of the pilot is that no one from Gotham, other than myself, will ever be in the show. They'll be referenced to because, first of all, you don't know what they're doing in life. So it's a brand new DC show, hopefully.
That's super freaking cool.
Yeah, we're so excited about it. You know, I get a little bit, down, but it's in sleeper mode because not too much is happening with it. Right. But like I said, that's a reason why I reached out for like comic book shops to kind of bring this guy back to life.
Gotcha.
Bring myself to the comic book world so I can get like more of a fan base.
Get the movement behind it.
That when this happens, it could happen, and.
Well, comic book fans, we love continuity. So if you keep continuity wise, it'll be great.
We're perfect with continuity. We're true to everything from Gotham and to the Action Comics Weekly.
So I mean, with everything going on, the pandemic and stuff, but we've seen you do some pop up and some signings. Yeah. Do you have any upcoming signings, or do you have any upcoming events or festivals you're going to coming up?
So May was my like mini tour I had set up. I did 3, which were awesome. I did 2 in Pennsylvania and 1 in Newark. I'm slowly you guys are my first podcast, so I'm trying to do a few.
Thank you.
Man. Thank you guys. This is awesome. So I'm slowly trying to grab a few more just to like this. You know why now? Just to kind of and I'm currently working on a few more, hopefully like later to midsummer, to just, a lot of stores are still very hesitant, which is sad, because I kind of like the intimate atmosphere that I'm going to. I'm not going to bring in hundreds of people. I'm not Ben McKenzie, So I'm doing this just for what we just discussed. And so I'm working on a few more. There won't be any more this month in June. I'm pretty booked with some other things. A lot of auditions have been happening. This week has been busy. Got a huge vacation coming up finally. Super stoked about the guys. Later in the summer, I plan to try to put together like a 2 to 4 other shops that are very interested or can
come to Texas.
Right.
If I can get down there and do like 4 in a row or something, I mean, I've been to Texas twice, so
we can at least hook you up with the comic book shops to go to. We're friends with some of these guys, so.
All right, so let's work on it after the show. We'll give some names.
For sure. That's actually going to be one of the next thing I wanted to ask is, yes, we're doing this show, but how else could we help you bring this to life? Getting you down here would be great. But like at the end of this, I want to put your reel up that you have on your website. Is there anything from this that we could share or put up to view that people can probably get a little more concept on or anything?
Oh, like video? You mean like part of the video?
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's figure out what part is the best, like a nice chunk that gets the most out of it. We're talking so much, I can't even remember what are some of our hits. We can go back and forth and figure out what a nice chunk of, but we can definitely put something out.
Sweet. I'd love to get something more out for you.
Yeah. Wrapping up here, how can the people contact you? Or do you do, everyone has a cameo? I know like people, they like the cameos and stuff like that, but like, do you have any future events you're looking forward to? Like any future roles? You said that earlier, you're having some auditions, like any roles that you're excited to have or get?
Everybody, I'm on Instagram is the most thing I do, and that's just straight Phil Eichinger. Hard to spell, but you guys can take care of the spelling.
We'll put it down at the bottom for you, for sure.
Other than that, I mean, I told you I'm excited about a week vacation at the end of the month, going to Jamaica. I'm excited about that.
Well deserved.
Yeah, man. And then, this week had some really awesome auditions. A new Netflix show. I auditioned for a recurring guest star. And then yesterday, I just auditioned for an untitled Marvel thing. So who knows? There's hundreds of them out there. We don't know what it is. Right. And there's hundreds of untitled Marvel projects going on. So I had no idea what it was. But that was this week's auditions, big ones. And, they come in and out. I have another podcast in a couple of weeks to chat with some people as well. And that's kind of the next week and a half, or June right now. Yeah, other than pushing Artichoke Boy a little more in the festivals, hoping to get some more selections.
What festivals is that popping up on?
I don't even know right now. It's in nothing right now. I know it was submitted to about 45. I still have about 15 to hear back from. I think it got into about 10. And we'll see. Yeah, I don't know what's coming up for it. I think I got some dates coming up to be notified.
Sweet.
This business, there's a lot more no's than yeses. So, and people have to learn to just brush off the nose. So I just take it and roll with whatever comes my way, man.
Well, fingers crossed for you for sure on our end. Yeah.
Definitely. If you make it to HBO Max, you got to come back and give us the second interview. Be like, yo, guys, I did it. Oh, I did it.
You get it, man. This is one of the first out loud, conversations about it. So maybe this will spark people to get it going.
Bringing a tear to my eye, man. Thank you for sharing that with us. We're really honored. That's great.
Well, thank you so much, Sir Phil, for joining us. But before we go, it's very appropriate that we're doing a giveaway right now on our podcast. Okay. And speaking of Gotham, ladies and gentlemen, if you get us to 150 subscribers on YouTube, definitely you could win this Libre Mejo Batman Designer Series figure. This could be yours. Also, our friends at Space Cadets has given us a shirt. So you get a free Space Cadets shirt. It's a local comic book shop here in Houston. Definitely get us to 150 subscribers. Go to our YouTube, like, subscribe. Please follow everybody. Follow Phil. Go to his Instagram. Follow our friend Phil.
And if you get to that 150, I'll sign some Gotham stuff, mail it to you guys, and then you guys get them anyway. So I'll put a whole bunch. I'll put a few in an envelope. You throw in a set of them with that giveaway and just toss it in.
I actually have a Gotham badge. I might need to get your address and send it to you to get signed anyways.
I got this. I got a patch.
Hey.
I have a patch. I saw one of your questions. My buddy gave me this as a bird. I didn't get anything from set, but my buddy gave me this. I call him Sweat Hog. Just a funny name. It's the GCPD patch for officers. Detectives wore the lanyard. But he gave me this for my birthday. He surprised me because his sister worked an episode before me and took a few of these, and it was like, this is a great gift. So I'm going to eventually get this framed and put it up and stuff. But I just had to show you guys that.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Phil, once again for joining us here at Comic Cave Podcast. Go follow Phil. He's doing some great things. He's doing some great things. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Chris here with my head of life mate, Mr.
Russ.
We'll see you guys next time. May the force be with you, and all Batman.